Hi, this is me again, and I am starting a new series about world building. I'm gonna be creating a new world building project every week. It's gonna be kind of like, it's not gonna be a really in-depth world, but it'll be like, if I want to build on it later, I can build on it later. And what I'm thinking is that if you want to build on it yourself, you can. Just make sure it's distinct compared to, the original world, and don't steal all my ideas. But that's it. I don't know if I'm assuming that you've probably heard about world building if you're watching this video, and I don't know if you've done it, but I may go through my thought process, but it's gonna be like me talking about my thoughts that have been in my head about a certain world, and me just talking about them kinda for each world building project. But yeah, that's about it. Let's get into it. So basically the world I'm thinking about is a cave world, or it takes place completely underground, intricate cave systems, and I'm assuming how it became this way is I don't know, I think there's some form of surface, or some people and animals and a bunch of stuff just migrated down there and the cave got shut off somehow. So there may be a completely different world on the surface, but nothing knows about the world underground, nor the people underground know of the world about the surface. But I'm thinking, and there's gonna be a lot of not animals. Yeah, we'll go for animals for now. I have some notes here, and I switched them up on accident, but whatever. I'm thinking about animals in the caves, and I haven't gotten very far into thinking about that. Right now, I'm assuming that most of them are going to be blind, or maybe not, because they're also going to be big, giant, glowing mushrooms. And the mushrooms are mainly going to be glowing a green or blue color. So I'm assuming if they're not blind, their eyes are going to be really sensitive to blue and green light. And so they won't be like our eyes at all. I mean, they'll be similar, of course, but they'll be a lot more sensitive to blue and green, and they can see a lot more shades of blue and green. And they could probably distinguish light a lot more easily, because since it'll already be dim in there from the mushroom, even though there's the light from the mushroom, it's still going to be pretty dim. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Their eyes, if they have any, are going to be a lot more sensitive to light and can depict shades of light a lot better, and greens and blues. I'm not really thinking about red. I'm assuming if there's lava in the caves, then they may be able to see some form of lava, but it'll probably be more of a yellow color instead, because that's closer to red, green or whatever. So maybe depicted as more of a yellow color to their eyes. Let's see. There's also going to be people. I don't really know much about them, but I'm thinking that their mythology is going to be they have ideas of, there used to be a big ball of fire that went over or the dark cave ceilings that lit up the entire world, or the entire cave. So it's kinda a resemblance of a world before they were in the caves, or before the world turned into caves or whatever. But it will be more but it'll be really distorted compared to reality. Like a lot of mythology, I think, probably. I don't know much about mythology because I don't really research it, but this is just thoughts that have been in my head for a while now, about a week. I'm thinking that they're probably gonna think about mushrooms highly because they light up their world. They may even have like their own god or goddess for mushrooms, like, or like maybe light in general. Because I'm assuming that bioluminescent mushrooms aren't going to be the only form of, you know, a sanitary living organisms, or however you want to call it. I don't know. Like, I don't think there's going to be plants, but if there's plants, the plants will be like completely white. They're like no color pigments in them, and they may be more of a parasite instead. But yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. So maybe they veer, like, if there's plants, maybe they veer plants as like, plants are like symbolized as death, while mushrooms and fungi are symbolized as life. So it's kind of reverses what we kind of have now, I guess. Because what I'm thinking is that a lot of times people will think of plants as more like more life in them or something like that. I don't know how to describe it. And then like mushrooms or like fungi as more bringers of death. That's the word. Or plants are more bringers of life, while fungi are more bringers of death. But for this society or people, well, it'll be the other way around, where fungi are thought as bringers of life. And they may have some form of death aspect by like, they bring about new life from the death. So maybe it's kind of like yin and yang. But I don't know. I also haven't really researched yin and yang at all, practically. But yeah, like there's a balance to it. I'm thinking that, like, and back to the animals, I only really talked about how they're blind. I'm thinking about how they may be, what is it called? Like, even they'll probably be low in pigmentation, or they may also be bioluminescent to blend in with the green and blue, or they may like try to blend in if there's like lava. If they live near lava, they may try to color themselves as lava, because a lot of the animals won't really be able to see red if they have eyes. And I haven't done much research into troglofauna, which are just creatures that live in caves. Like there are certain kinds like bats and stuff like that where they kind of like live in caves, but they like leave the caves to feed or whatever. And then there's like raccoons that like to be in caves occasionally, but spend a lot of their time outside of the caves. Then like, you have, I believe they're called troglobites, where they're like a type of amphibian where they live their entire lives in caves. They're pretty cool because they live like, I think, hundreds of years, something like that. And I believe they're relatively small. And there's those kinds of fish that, what are they called? Well, I don't know what they're called, but the kindest. Oh, those are my headphones that disconnected. Let's turn them off. But basically, what was I gonna say? There's this type of fish that I believe like jumps up waterfalls or something like that. And they live in the caves. There's a lot of fascinating creatures that live in caves, and it'd be cool to kind of explore that in a world just only made up of caves, with maybe some resemblance of them being, about a world not full of caves originally. I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but I don't know. Oh, and then back to the people. I'm thinking it'd be cool if there are myths of people seeing the big ball of fire, or that'll lit up the world. Well, all the caves, I guess, because that's all they would know. And maybe like there's like some recent people who have seen the sun slash big ball of fire, but they're kind of mysterious about it. So maybe since they're not used to the world above, maybe they're scared of it and they don't want people looking for it because it's dangerous or something like that. Or like maybe they just want to keep it to themselves or something like that because they fear something would happen if they told them about it. Or I don't know. Well, maybe they fear something on the outside world, so they keep it a secret, or keep it really low in their profile. Like, oh yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal, kind of thing. Even though it'd be a really big deal if someone saw a thing that lit up their entire world for like 12 hours a day or like whatever, and you could get a more abundant food supply because there's a bunch of crops and plants. But maybe they could have recognized that there were plants, and maybe they thought that, oh no, this is like hell because there's all these plants, and maybe that because there may be plants in there. Sorry about that. My camera decided to like stop recording automatically for whatever dumb reason. Basically what I was saying was that they may have thought that the outside world was like hell because they saw these plants, and since in their caves plants are a symbol that symbolizes death, that they feared that the plants would kill them, or they're like that them being there would bring about monsters and it would kill them or something like that. Something that has to do with plants destroying them or killing them or their society. There isn't really much else that I have. Basically, those are my like thoughts on what the world would be like, or like whatever. Just a rough outline of a world that I have. I'll probably dig deeper into it because there were some other stuff that I thought about. There's probably a video won't come out. It's being recorded on a Sunday. Don't know if it'll be uploaded today. I may do some editing so there's pictures of my ideas, but it may be if it's uploaded today. There's probably not going to be much editing involved because it's daytime, but I don't want to waste too much time recording and doing stuff like that. So if you see images and stuff like that, this probably was not uploaded on Sunday, or maybe I just did it all at once. I don't know. So bye, I'll see you in the next video. I don't know when that'll be, probably next week. But yeah, that's it. Bye.